Good afternoon again, YouTubers. Today's repair, random knowledge for you, will be on replacing a multifunction switch on a 98 Mustang. It's my car. I kind of just post these as I experience issues to hopefully help out anyone else that's experiencing the same issues. In this particular case, I was having difficulties whenever I would turn left or turn right. Either my turn signal wouldn't engage, I would get this annoying higher pitched electrical noise, and it wasn't any of the simpler fixes. I looked at the bulbs, make sure there were no bulbs burned out that might be causing the internal light to not blink. I checked the fuse. No, it's not the fuse. Not only is the fuse good, but the wipers are working as well, and all of these functions are tied in together, so if one's not working, none of them would be working. So I went with the next least expensive fix, which in this case is a brand new multifunction switch. This ran me about $50 at AutoZone, and as you see, it looks just like your turn signal assembly, which is basically what it is. Fairly simple to remove, and I'm going to talk through the steps in just a second, and then I'm going to go ahead, and since I do like to reverse engineer a bit, I'm going to get in there, get everything taken apart, and then I will unpause the video and continue on from there. So what I will be doing is unscrewing the steering wheel shroud, which is the covering around the steering column, with a Phillips head screwdriver. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I disconnect the negative battery cable so I don't accidentally cause any electrical surges. Once I get the shroud off, I am then going to unsnap the wiring harness from the back of the switch that's already in there needing replaced. There's tabs that can be pulled away to separate them. Then I'm going to, using my Phillips, unscrew the switch from the steering wheel column, and it should just come out freely. It's just a very few pieces, very, very simple, and relatively fast. So I'll be right back with you all, and we will see what I'm talking about. Alright, so moving on to step 2. Excuse the lighting, it's getting a little dark. I have disconnected the negative terminal of my battery, and I've already done the bulk of the disassembly here. Alright, so what I wound up having to do was on the underside of the steering column, right underneath here, there were a couple of screws attached to this piece right here. I just went ahead and had to screw those out, and as you see, this piece across the front here that generally would be right where your knees are also had to come out in order to get to it. I initially had some worries that this top piece was going to have to come out, so I'm trying to get to a view here, because where the ignition was blocking it, but I was able to work around that. So the ignition switch, or excuse me, the multifunction switch was in here as such, and I just had to undo 2 screws, and the whole assembly pulled out, and it was right here like this, and all I had to do was pull the gray plugs out to remove the old one. Now I'm going to reverse this process and go ahead and put the new one in. Relatively simple. The point of these videos is to give you enough that you should be able to troubleshoot it on your own. Sorry, I can't hold the camera and we'll go through the whole process, but it's relatively painless. I will be back shortly, and hopefully we will have a fix. Alright, so moment of truth time. I have gotten everything reassembled, put the negative connection back on the battery. I have to apologize for the lighting. It lost a little daylight trying to reassemble everything. Alright, so as you can see, everything looks to be reassembled, lined up. The tilt wheel works. Kind of hard to demonstrate that one-handed. Put the keys in and see what we have here. Don't mind the theft light. It's not stolen, I promise. Alright. Flashers. I can see in the corner of the garage that they're working on that end. Left signal. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. Thought I had an error for a second. Right signal. And you will discover that the switch is a little more stiff than your old one, and that will be the case until it breaks in. But all in all, it looks like this was a success. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments box below. Feel free to check out my other videos and like, subscribe, share. I will see you next time.